If you ask the majority of people, what does it take to get rich? Most of them will say, I need to make more money. The bigger your salary, the wealthier you will become. But if you ask the minority people, the wealthiest people, none of them want a bigger salary. They want more assets. And the reason why is because when you earn more money from your salary, from your job, you are relying on you to go to work to do something. There's a limit to how much you can earn from what you do, but there's no limit to what you can earn from what you own. And this is where now wealthy people look at this very differently. And if now you earned a big salary, you have a lot of expenses because you make a lot of money. So now you have a nice car, you have a nice home, you have nice vacations because you make this nice cushy salary, but then you break your leg and you can't go to work anymore. Or your company goes under, your CEO runs the company to the ground, or you get fired. Then what? When you are solely reliant on just one income to survive, you are one paycheck away from being broke. And this is why the majority of Americans, it doesn't matter if you're making 6 figures or under 6 figures, the majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck because they make money to spend it. And when you make money to spend it, well, now you're relying on only one income and you own no assets. And when you rely only on one income, well, you're only one paycheck away from losing everything. Now, here's the thing. Building real sustainable cash flow from your investments is not something that happens overnight. It's not something that happens in a year. It's not even something that happens in 10 years. This is a long-term strategy where if you keep doing this over the course of a decade or more, well, now you're going to be able to build cash flow that you can also rely on. How do you do this? Well, you can invest in stocks that pay dividends. You can invest in rental properties. You can work to build a business that's generating a healthy profit that's also funding you with cash flow. When you invest your money for cash flow, what you're doing is you're taking your money and you're buying assets. You're saying bye to your money and you're not going to see it for a long time, and then your money is going to go out to work and it's going to work to produce you some more money. Maybe it's cash flow from dividends from stocks. Maybe it's cash flow from real estate. So now you get this cash flow, and then what? You can either take this money and go out and spend it, or you can use this new cash that you just got and use this money to buy even more cash flow. And this is where you really have to accept that idea of delayed gratification. I call it the decade of sacrifice, where over a decade, you are going to have to live below your means. You're going to have to make financial sacrifices and you're going to have to work to earn more money. And then this cash that you're not spending, you put this money to work. Now, one way to spend it is for cash flow investments. I love cash flow investments because cash flow funds the guac flow. When you have cash flow coming in, well, now you can spend your money and not have to stress because you'll have another cash flow check coming in 3 months or in 1 month or in 12 months. And so now I like cash flow for that reason. And this is where now if you take your money and you go out and buy these cash flow producing assets and then they start paying you, it might only be a couple bucks in the beginning. Well, now you're going to keep putting more money into these cash flowing assets every time you get paid. So every time you get paid, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, you're going to take some money and buy some more cash flow. Then every time you get this cash flow, you're not going to spend it. Remember, this is a decade of sacrifice. And most people are not willing to go through this because they hear a decade. I don't got time for that. I want to buy my new car today. Well, if you're willing to go through this decade of sacrifice, you're going to be able to live a life that most people dream of without even worrying about the price, because now you are working to stack your assets and you are working to stack the cash flow. So now every time you get paid, you buy the cash flow, your cash flow makes you cash, and you use your cash to buy even more cash flow. So now you have a machine. You're working to earn money, not to spend, but you're working to earn money to buy more cash flow. Now your income is buying you cash flow, and your cash flow is buying you more cash flow, and now you have this machine that's just constantly working, and each year you're going to see it get bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you keep doing this, well, now pretty soon you are going to have a hefty machine that's producing you a solid income. And this is where having that delayed gratification and understanding 10 years are going to go by. You're going to get older 10 years from now. And what's going to happen then? Are you going to be in the same position where you are today, where you have some nice stuff but no assets? Or do you want to go through the sacrifice now, build that wealth, that way then 10 years from now, you can buy whatever you want and not have to worry about the money? That decision is yours. See, most people have this assumption that if you want to get money, you have to go and do something from 9 o'clock to 5 or 6 o'clock. And then if you keep doing that, that's how you get paid and that's how you fund your life. But for some people, the people that understand money, they understand that that's not how it has to work. If you have enough money, if you own enough assets that pay you enough cash flow, you don't have to live that lifestyle. And this is where now you have to give up some of the freedom today. You have to give up some of the nice stuff that you have today if you want to have more freedom in the future. And this is where the counter argument is, well, I don't know if I'm going to even be here tomorrow, so why would I want to make the sacrifice today? Well, here's a little bit of information for you. If you're spending your time watching this video, chances are you are going to be here tomorrow. And so now, if you're going to be here tomorrow, you can choose, would you rather be broke tomorrow or make the sacrifice today? That way you can be wealthy in the near future. See, people don't want money to have a big bank account. People want money to have freedom. And this is where now understanding how much money do I need for freedom, where now my income is covering my expenses. What is that freedom number? Well, once you achieve that freedom number, you can go out and have that freedom. It requires a little bit of math of knowing how much money do you need, how much are your expenses, and how will you actually go out and get this freedom. That's what money can provide. But how do you actually do that? This is where now you want to work backwards. For one, you need to know how many assets you need to own to fund you with that cash flow. And then two, how are you going to get the cash to buy that many assets? And when most people see that number, they get very overwhelmed. They get very scared and they say, forget it. I'll just continue following the traditional system. And then another decade goes by and you keep doing the same thing and you're in the same place as you were 10 years ago. Then another 5 years go by. Then another 5 years go by. And then you say, oh no, maybe I should do something different. I'm so tired of living this same life each and every day. I want to do something different. And then you say, I wish I would have started 10 years ago. That time is going to go. And this is where now, if you want to have the freedom, if you want to have the cash flow, if you want to own the assets, you got to start by looking at the way you spend your money. And you're going to have to make sacrifices. This sucks because people might see you go from a BMW to a Toyota. They're not going to understand what happened to you. But this is where understanding that you have to be willing to make these financial sacrifices. Then you got to put in the work to earn more money. Then you got to take this new money that you do have and not spend it. And then you're going to put this money to work. Then you're going to do that month after month after month, year after year after year. And then pretty soon you're going to have a whole new stream of income where all of a sudden now you're making way more money because you got the income from your job. You got the income from your assets. And now you can start living a much bigger and a much nicer life. And you don't even have to worry about the money because you got your assets funding your lifestyle. But this starts with now you changing the way you think and then changing what you do with money, because if you believe that you can't do it, I can 100% guarantee that you can't do it. But it is possible. This is where now you have to believe that it's possible for you and stick with it. I know it's hard. It's a tough process, but it is possible. But it requires you to stop doing what everybody else does. Stop spending your money the way everybody else does. And then take the money that you're earning and use this to make yourself rich before you make everybody else around you rich. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.